Every single one of the listings that I've gotten from Ignite Connections is a listing that I would not have gotten on my own.
We've been working with a few buyers in the area, and we're trying to find out if you might consider selling the place this year, if you got the right price, and if it made sense.
Yep, I would.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, if it was the right price and it made sense, I would consider it in a year, yeah.
For me, the real value is it is that company that picks up the phone, and I know that that's where the money is, calling people. Nobody wants to pick up the phone and call people, even me, which is why I hired you guys, right?
I guess when it comes down to it, why would you consider selling the place?
It's just a vacation home.
Yeah, we need a bigger place.
The cabin isn't nearly as appealing because I have the same kind of feel at my new house because I have about 5 acres there.
Oh, I would be looking at relocation. The winter, I'm getting older and the winters are getting longer for me.
And it's actually amazing how many people are willing to have that phone conversation with the callers. Your callers are doing a great job of keeping them on the phone and keeping them engaged.
The proof is in the pudding. I paid for my entire year in my first sale, which was like, I don't know, 30 days after we got together.
Also, I'd love to see Zillow and all these other places find out as much about these people as we are.
Yeah, I am writing paragraphs about these people.
Yes, when you go on Realtor.com, when you go on Zillow, and that chat box pops up from a random realtor that's advertised on the site, nobody's talking about their divorce in those chat boxes. Nobody's talking about their kids graduating and moving away in those chat boxes. We are talking to those people.
It's one person. It's not going to 15. It's going to one person, and you have an appointment with them on Monday. I was curious why a realtor would choose us instead of buying leads off of Zillow. Those people have raised their hand to 15 other people, and they're not going to get in. But we're changing people's minds. People would say, are you interested in listing? They're like, probably not. Now I see that as there's an in. Obviously, if you're so confident and you're happy in your home, you're not going to say probably not. You're going to be like, no, this is my forever home. Now when I hear probably not, it's basically a yes, because why are you saying probably not? And when I go through the script, that's all supposed to be catered to trying to find out this person's exact situation. You actually get through to them and they start to open up to you. They just blather on, and I'm sitting there being like, yes, taking my notes and listening to what they're saying. And then eventually they're like, yeah, I just got divorced, or like, yeah, my kids just graduated, so I actually need to sell. A lot of the time, they don't want to actually get off of their butt and go and book something. They don't want to say I'm going to list within the year, but I'm like, okay, will you commit to this appointment? And if I set it up for you, if I put it in your Google Calendar for next Monday, it's 5 minutes long. Will you go if someone gives you another call like the one I just gave you just now? Yeah.
How many listings I have? Yes, okay, 36 listings, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
These are active?
Yes, that one's 7, yes, 8 out of 36.
And then you've closed some, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. A bunch.
I've closed, I can remember.
All right, cool.
I can say I have easily in 8 months, I have closed at least one a month. Wow. And there was 1 month, I think I closed 4.
So probably 10 to 12 total closed listings.
Yeah.
And then 8 active right now.
Yeah.
In 8 months.
Right.
That's not bad.
And not to mention all of the leads, all of the nurtures, all of the new contacts.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those. I couldn't even tell you how many.
No, sure.
I was spending about 80 grand a year on Zillow. A lot of damn money on Zillow. And I have been able to scale that back by about 80%. So it's made me money and saved me money. The proof is in the pudding. I paid for my entire year in my first sale, which was like, I don't know, 30 days after we got together. I've had so much success with the program. I would tell them, don't hesitate. It works as well as you work it, period. And if you work it, it's worth it.
Listings is the name of the game, as they say. Having somebody call and do that work for me so that I can kind of just do everything else sounded really appealing. I probably have 30 really warm people that will do something in the next 1 to 3 years. And they're gonna pop up at the right time and just fill those blanks in. Well, I definitely do believe that there's not a lot of people that are having services in our area, like you guys. A lot of agents don't invest in themselves. They don't put the money out there to do that. So I feel like I'm one of the only people that are actually, having somebody call on my behalf. When I have these conversations with the clients, the leads, it doesn't sound like they're like, oh, you're the 7th person who's called me this week. I think that's an advantage. Again, it's just me putting myself out there. And everybody's had a lot of great compliments to say about Emily, just that she was really friendly, had a great disposition on the phone, and she's done a really good job of keeping them on the phone and keeping them interested and engaged. That is a huge way to connect people now. I've done, everything, mailers and postcards and knocking on doors. People aren't really receptive to that kind of stuff. And it's actually amazing how many people are willing to have that phone conversation with the callers. And when I listen to them, and even they could be in the middle of something or just you're like, there's no way these guys are going to be interested. They continue the conversation, which again is where your callers are doing a great job of keeping them on the phone and keeping them engaged. I just think for me, I do really well face to face, or just give me that time to have that phone call with somebody. And so I figure, again, if somebody else is trained to do this, I'm sure that they're going to do a really good job. So.
It's a human-to-human interaction, but we're not just cold calling and following a script. Each one of us is making about 3,000 calls per day. There's a lot of rejections, there's a lot of hangups, there's even a lot of cursing involved. I'm waiting for that one person to pick up and say, hey, yeah, I am looking to sell, or yeah, you know what, I've been thinking about selling. And you know what, that just brightens up my day. I'm saying, hey, I just got my agent an opportunity, and that makes me so much happier. And so they feel that energy, and then all of a sudden, at the end of that call, they're like, you know what, I have a really good feeling about this, and I'm actually so happy I answered the call, because I never answer the call. And that's where I'm like, I called at the right time, at the right place for this agent, and this is going to happen, and we're going to close this deal, and I'm going to end my day on a very good note.
We are catching these homeowners at the perfect time. The reason why we're so good at what we do is because if they're already looking to sell, they would already have a realtor and it would already be on the market. If they're not thinking about it at all, they're telling us they're not interested, and we politely hang up the call. The ones that we book for these agents are the perfect timing for these agents to get in front of them, because they haven't found an agent, they're thinking about it, and they haven't got the ball rolling yet.
Every single one of the listings that I've gotten from Ignite Connections is a listing that I would not have gotten on my own. We've closed a transaction recently. It was a nice, good, solid commission. It was a listing I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. We're under contract. I have both sides of another transaction, which is another nice commission that I wouldn't have had otherwise. 2 commissions. We've got another nice listing that we just put up a couple of weeks ago. That one's great. Wouldn't have had that without Ignite. And then just signed the new one there. And then I've got quite a few nurture leads that I know are going to turn into listings in the next few months. Conservatively speaking, I have received probably 3 to 4 times as much in commission income as I've spent on the program. By the end of the year, I'll have 5 to 6 times what I spent on the program, and it probably could have been 9 to 10 times what I spent on the program. And to be honest, I've got a couple of leads that I flubbed. I didn't make the call back when I was supposed to. I'm working on them. I'm bringing them back in the fold, but I just didn't make the time for it. I didn't recognize the value of these connections at first, and I wasn't putting my best self forward. I probably could have had 2, maybe 3 more listings had I done the follow-up the correct way with this program.
You'll have many people on the other line, and once they start speaking to you and you start asking the right questions and get to know them a little bit, it opens up the possibility of, we have another property, we could potentially sell. Yeah, you know what, book it. I think a lot of the time, some individuals, they don't even think about it. Or there's some individuals that we speak to that are like, oh, we've talked about it. It's something that we've discussed, but they haven't pulled the trigger to actually look for someone yet. Yeah. They just haven't done the legwork to actually inquire. Yeah. So we're actually bringing them the opportunity to get that much further in whatever journey it is when it comes to listing their home.
Selling your home is a very big move, somebody sees a flyer or an ad online, maybe they're intrigued, although sometimes taking that first step is really hard. So for us, we kind of take that first step for them. And so we kind of put them in the position to say, you know what, maybe I wasn't going to necessarily reach out to you guys first or make that move because I'm a little bit nervous or hesitant. So now that you're asking me though, let me ask you some questions and kind of initiate that conversation so they start thinking about it and considering it in a warm and friendly manner, because we're obviously humans over the phone as well, not an ad online.
For me, the real value is it is that company that picks up the phone, and I know that that's where the money is. Calling people. Nobody wants to pick up the phone and call people, even me, which is why I hired you guys, right? Found a good fit with you guys. I listened to the calls. The callers are great. They are better prospectors and objection handlers than 90% of the agents I work with. No lie. I've taken some of Catherine's calls, and I would have Jacob come in, who I told is an agent that I help mentor, and he's a newer agent. I'm like, listen to her. Listen to what she's saying. Do that. I just love the ability to get through a script. I've heard hundreds of her calls. I know the script. None of them sound like a script. Nobody on the other end thinks it's a script. It's a natural, conversational phone call, which is what most agents need to get a lot better at. I've had good success in doing that by making thousands and thousands of calls. I found that picking up the phone and calling and getting better at what you're saying works, and coming full circle. That's what you guys do for me now. So, thank you.